Am I the a-hole for not giving my sister my house and kicking her out of hers? Long story, we'll try to shorten it as much as possible, but let me know if something doesn't make sense. Throw away because my nephew uses Reddit. I have one younger sister who has 3 kids in their early late teens. She has horrible financial sense and a ton of debt. About 6 years ago our parents passed away. They left my sister some investments in a managed fund which are worth over $300,000, but she can only access a small amount, around $20,000, once every 6 months. I think this was an excellent idea, as in the past when she has gotten large lump sums she has blown through it rapidly without paying off debt. Case in point. About 6 months after our parents' deaths my sister's husband passed away and she got a life insurance payout of almost $250,000, and she spent it within a year without paying down her mortgage, paying off student credit card debt, and then got behind on her mortgage and the bank foreclosed on her house. Our parents left me their house. I had specifically asked for it so I could rent it and use it as collateral to buy a house of my own. It was only worth around $250,000 at the time and was recently valued at $320,000. After my sister ran out of her husband's life insurance, I let her move into my parents' house in what was supposed to be a temporary arrangement while she found a job. I let her stay for free excluding expenses. The house is relatively small, only 3 bedrooms, and she has been complaining since she met a new boyfriend that it's not big enough, especially since she is now pregnant. I have given up on trying to get her to move out. I have recently bought my first home. I had a decent deposit but will still have mortgage of around $250 per week. It is a 5 bedrooms, 2 bathroom place so that my fiancée and her daughter can move in with me, and I will convert the extra bedrooms into a studio for my fiancée and a workroom for me. My sister has found out about the new place this weekend and immediately asked when they would be moving in. This shocked me considering I had never suggested she could live there. Obviously I refused, and she's now blowing up my phone, calling me selfish and that her growing family need the space more than I and my ex-lur girlfriend and her bastard daughter. I flipped my shit when she started insulting my partner and daughter and told her that I would be contacting a lawyer on Monday to arrange evicting her, and that she had been living off my generosity for 5 years and I was sick of being there for her. She's obviously beside herself, and her BF has been sending me angry abusive emails about how dare I kick out a pregnant woman. Am I the a-hole here? Not the a-hole. I'm shocked you let her move in the first place. Good for you for helping, but you've done more than enough. More than enough. Flat out tell them to stop being so entitled. They are adults and need to grow up, and you are not responsible for supporting their lifestyles. Tell them you will be serving eviction papers, and maybe if they can behave like respectful adults other arrangements could be considered. That is, they stay and start paying rent, etc., but this may not be possible. Just find out eviction requirements and consider what's best for you. You have been more than generous and they need to learn to stand on their own. I wouldn't even consider an alternative to eviction. This woman isn't responsible at all and would just screw OP over again and again. Kick her out and change the locks and add cameras. If the kids are the primary concern, their safety etc., they could stay with OP at their discretion. If they're older, they can move out and maybe OP could support them. Younger, offer an alternative but with all the documents and stipulations. Will I be the a-hole if I reported my teacher for acting differently and treating me differently after I came out? So I am 15, female to male, trans, and about a month ago I came out to my teachers. All teachers except for 2 accepted me immediately. 1 even drew a trans pride flag in the corner of the board for me. I don't think my other teacher understood what I told her. We'll call the teacher in question. BB immediately refused to use my preferred name and pronouns and refused to even consider it, and she started kicking me from her Zoom classes if I had my new name as my shown name. Ever since I came out she stopped answering my questions in class, stopped catching me up on what's happening if I'm late or my internet messes up. My internet is unstable 24/7 but only for my computer, and she's just acting as if I don't exist. She asked the class a question and no one answered, so I answered and I saw her read my answer then tell the class that no one had answered and that she wanted an answer. My grade in her class went from a high B to an F, almost a C but still failing, because she ignores me and doesn't help me when I need it. I've been told that I would be an asshole for reporting her because she doesn't have to accept me and reporting her would likely get her fired, but I don't know what else to do because my grade in her class is just going down no matter how hard I try to catch myself up. So Reddit, will I be the a-hole if I report my teacher? Not the a-hole. She may not personally have to accept you're trans, but she has to accept that you are her student. You should report her and screenshot every time this happens in the class if you can. Have evidence that you're being actively ignored when you report her. This. Definitely collect as much evidence as you can. Start an incident log too. Record every instance of her refusal to teach you in a journal with dates and times to back yourself up. Definitely a good idea with a journal. I didn't think of that. Am I the a-hole for wanting to add my wife's last name to my name? My wife and I just got married in a small ceremony a few weeks ago, and after a lot of discussion between us we decided we want to change both of our names to first name, middle name, her last name, my last name. As a man I know this is very untraditional, but we love being a part of each other's families and we want to have the same names as each other while still keeping our own last names. Ever since our families caught wind that we were wanting to do this, it has been nothing but ridicule and aggressive texts, phone calls, saying that I am disrespecting my family and please don't do this. They're also incredibly upset I didn't discuss it with them before even considering doing it. I don't even understand the issue, because I am not dropping my last name, I'm just adding my wife's last name to my whole name. But everyone says I will never be taken seriously professionally or otherwise, and it will be a huge embarrassment for the family and for me. The thing is, before all of this blew up my wife and I sent out about 100 Christmas cards with our wanted name structures on them. Though nothing is legal yet. They haven't been delivered yet, but I just know it's going to blow up further with people thinking it's official. My family has basically already said to me and my wife that I am the a-hole for even considering this, because it's just not how the world works and you will humiliate our family. It's all been really fucking hurtful and I know it's probably going to get worse when our cards get delivered. So am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's your name. Do what you want. Double-barreled names are much more common now. If OP, as a man, has a double-barreled name, then I'd assume it was from his mum-dad rather than his wife's name. It wouldn't impact employability in the slightest. Yeah, I'd assume it was from the parents, but I wouldn't ask or care. The only funny thing about double-barreled names is that you can only do it once, I guess. Like what if OP has a kid and that kid wants to do it, too? Shit out of luck unless you're gonna end up having a name like a 17th century noble. Hey, I'm Roberta Anna Sanderson Vargas Jones Chang. Nice to meet you. Am I the a-hole for taking down a Christmas tree? I, 21 female, am currently sharing a house with 6 other people. A few weeks ago, I decided to decorate for Christmas. I texted my housemates about it and they agreed I should buy some things, but they couldn't join me because of work, etc. I ended up getting a Christmas tree and some very basic ornaments to start with, but I asked them to get nicer ones since I didn't want to be the only person spending money on the decor. When I put up all those decorations they seemed happy with it at first, but then as weeks passed by I heard a lot of comments from people outside our household about how they, the housemates, were going around telling everyone how ugly the Christmas tree was. Now, I'm not usually mad about these things, but I did ask them at the very beginning to get some of their own decor to avoid a situation like this, but they never did it. So once the comments became a bit too much, I just decided to move the tree to my room where it doesn't bother anyone. Now my housemates are upset the tree is gone because it was ugly but cute. I just think that, since they all hated it for so long, they should get one that everyone likes. So am I the asshole for taking down the tree, moving it to a private space? This one is up to you to answer. If you made it this far into the video, thank you very much, and do let me know in the comments below if you think the lady from the last story was the a-hole or not. Be safe everyone. Daniel signing out in a way you've never seen him do before.